Your life! Welcome to The Talk, the safe space where we dive in all sorts of conversations, all sorts. Nothing is off limits. I'll be your host for today, and I go by the name Kamo Moth, aka your absolute fave. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by someone who you guys might think is a tad bit too controversial. I think, yes, girl, get it! And that is the ever gorgeous, super intelligent Jackie Phamotse. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're matching.
Oh my God, I have the energy. We in sync.
You in sync. Also, happy belated.
Thank you.
We saw you thirst trapping there on the gram. Did it go down in the DM?
No, I had to switch off my DMs for like a week.
You could have easily gotten a nice check. Maybe even a trip to Dubai.
Can I hold my peace about Dubai?
Well, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I said we do dive into all sorts of conversations. And well, if you haven't put 1 + 1 together, it means chelete. But chelete to what extent? We're talking about transactional relationships.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain you know more about it than me. Okay? Because first of all, I am the transaction. I am the boot matlisa in my relationships, unfortunately.
Why?
Maybe because I think that is the problem. I don't know, but I've never been in a situation where I was like, I always just feel like, all my life I've had to fight.
Fight, yeah.
And so we're talking about that. And I remember when I just got the conversation, I was like, what exactly is a transactional relationship? Because from where I'm sitting, I feel like we're all in some sort of transaction.
To tell you the truth, there's no way you can be in a relationship and there's no transaction. There's just no way. It just depends on the level. For some people, having a relationship where you are given money consistently and you've got a girlfriend allowance, you've got a house allowance, a car allowance, or something like that, that is clearly transactional.
Absolutely.
That's very clear.
Yeah.
And then you've got relationships where people are like, if you get a gifty once a week or twice a month or whatever, it's just a gift. It has nothing to do with security.
Yes.
Or it has nothing to do with any form of payment.
Yes.
Right? So back in the day, it was common that our dads would give our mothers Telta Society.
Yes.
Right? That was an allowance of some sort,
yes.
Right? But they wouldn't say it's transactional. They would say they're in a relationship. Provider.
A man provides.
Exactly, a man provides. However, times have really changed, or maybe it's just the era of social media where everything is just doubled in expectation as well. Whereas from our mothers getting Childcare Society, you would rather now get a car. You would rather have money for a weave.
The best wig in the game. That's
exactly.
Right, that's
you would rather have that instead of stock fail.
Yes.
Childcare stock fail. So, but now where the boundaries and limits are a little bit blurred is, are you in a relationship or you transacting? Because there are people who are dating and their partners can afford to give them the excess money, which is great. That's a relation. They're in a relationship with, whether you want to say marufa chelet or not, they are in a relationship, because it's with one person and you are committed to that one person. There are people who are with a person purely because of a transaction.
Yes.
A transaction, right? So they will say, we are not exclusive. You have your people, I've got my people, but when I'm with you, this is the expectation. Right. That is transactional.
Do you think to participate in something that is coined purely as transactional is something that can be labeled modern day prostitution?
Yeah, it is. Because
it is.
It is. It does not matter how many adjectives we want to put on it so that it sounds better or we sugarcoat it. But as soon as you sell your time or your body, that is prostitution. Because other people will say, I didn't sleep with them, I was just there to keep them company. But you sold your time. That is equivalent to be an escort.
Glorified one.
Yeah, you are an escort. You sold your time, whether it was sexual or you were just there for 2 hours to have a conversation with that person, but they gave you something in return for that. You were not hanging around with a friend where you say, "Oh, friend, I'll see you whenever I come
and
back."
Then all of a sudden you had like butterflies.
No, there's you were selling your time or your body. There's two things: it's time and body. And if you have done those and you've gotten something in return as a form of an agreement to say, you did this for me, so therefore that is yours, that is prostitution.
Boom. Wow. You heard it from her. It is prostitution. Let's hear from what the people have to say. And so let's check out this cool video.
Hi there, I'm Trisha Huffman, your duologist, and I call bullshit on transactional relationships, transactional actions, transactional intentions. You may be thinking, what the heck is she talking about? Transactional. So meaning, if you are thinking, feeling, if I do this, if I support them, if I offer my services to them, that means they will then do the same for me. That where are your intentions? That if you're waiting for things to come back to you because you did this, because you shared this, then you're going to end up living in resentment and expectation and holding grudges. That you always want to be coming from a place of, why are you saying yes? Why are you doing this? Why are you offering your services, your help, yourself? Because of how you makes it feel, because you genuinely want to, not because if I do this, then they will do this for me. Of course we want that. We want people to genuinely support us that we are supporting. We want the people that we love and support to have the same feelings and desire and ability to support us too. But they don't always have that availability. And they may, but it might not be happening on your timeline. It doesn't feel good to be doing things because you are waiting for a result, because you are waiting for this thing to come back around to you, this transaction. Well, I did this, so this is going to happen. That's not going to make you feel good. Again, so always coming back to, why am I saying yes? Why am I showing up? Why am I following this person? Why am I offering my help? Because I want to? Because it makes me feel good? Or because I'm thinking, well, if I show up for them, they'll show up for me. If I share their post, they'll share my post. If I do this, then they're going to do this for me. When you do that, you are going to end up living in expectation, in grudges, in resentment. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Let it go. Pay attention to why you are doing the things you are doing. How do they make you feel? Let go, and then oftentimes people will surprise you, and they will show you the same love and support. But when you're putting that energy of expecting it back, the transactional, it doesn't feel good. And so that is why I call bullshit on transactional relationships. I will love you if you love me, if you act this way, that sort of stuff too. We're all different. We all show love and support in different ways and in different timings. So also remembering that. I call bullshit on your transactional actions and your transactional intentions. Do things because of how they make you feel and because you genuinely want.
And we're back. Well, we heard from the people, and I think the very pressing question is it possible to carry out a relationship without any expectations, right? For me, I'm going to say this because I'm just fresh out of a relationship. Okay?
Sorry.
I got dumped a month ago.
Sorry.
So hit me up in the DM, everybody. So, I was in this relationship and I went in purely because I was really in love. This was my best friend. And I noticed that he wanted to be a provider in the traditional sense that we know, that I wasn't asking him for anything.
Okay.
He was offering, and I was still rejecting. And then he would find very tricky ways to get money into my wallet.
Okay.
Let's say, take my car to the car wash. I get boom.
There's something. Yeah, there's
because
something.
and And however, throughout, I never, because it would happen, I didn't start expecting it. I think the only expectation I ever had was just love me and be faithful.
Yeah.
It was never really monetary.
Yeah.
But it drew a wedge because his love language was acts of service.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very tricky. Do you think it's possible to have?
I think there is borderline, right, on what the intention of the relationship is. Sometimes you have to be very clear with that. If in your situation, for example, you were purely in the relationship for the relationship.
Yeah.
Some other people would rather say, if I'm in a relationship with you, you have to provide. So therefore, here's a list of the things that I need. So if you can't come to the party and you can't provide that, therefore I cannot be with you. And they make it very clear. However, it is natural to have an expectation of growth in any relationship. For an example, if you are staying apart and you have an apartment here and you have an apartment there, your expectation in the long run is that we will move in together, you'll get a house together, you probably share responsibilities, right? That is expectation of growth. But expectation of a lifestyle is completely different than expectation of growth.
Yeah.
Whereas you are where you stay, and then in the next 2-3 months, you expect him to move you to a lavish apartment or a house or something else because he is deemed to be this great provider. And now he's supposed to rescue you from your troubled situation because your expectation of a relationship is that he has to have X amount of money or X amount of wealth or so forth and so forth. Therefore, making that relationship transition into transactional. So your intention with the relationship ultimately sort of bears the line to say, are we growing together or are you receiving something as you're literally making me your cash cow?
Yeah.
So therefore, once you have gotten what you wanted, you will move on to the next guy to get the next thing. So that's where we need to really be careful. Are you in it to grow or are you in it
to win it?
To win it, yeah.
Okay, so let's read some of the comments from the people. And Sweet Lips 89 says, there is nothing wrong with expectations. Maggie K says, what happens when the person you love just wants money from you? It absolutely hurts. And Kenneth says, Tuli, sorry, there's no love without expectation. It's natural.
Yeah.
Kenneth says, women must stop pressuring men into supporting them. Life is hard enough. Kurav. Lee, I can't wait for this conversation. Well, the conversation is happening right now. Lee, tell your friends and your friends' friends and your parents and everybody else in the hood to check out what's happening right here on Palm TV. So Kenneth says women are pressuring men into supporting them.
Men are equally pressuring themselves to be providers because for them it's an ego competition.
It is.
You understand? So a man who says, I did X for my ex, I did 1, 2, 3 for my ex, so therefore I can double up. Their marketing tool when it comes to getting girls is that I have a Porsche, I have a beautiful apartment, I can buy you drinks. That's the way they introduce themselves. You and your friends. That's what they say when they meet girls in public spaces. They want to flaunt what they have, leading girls to say, oh, that's the first thing you showed me, so therefore I will want it.
Yes.
Because if you come to a table and we're sitting as 4 friends and you say, I'll pay your bill, what's your expectation after that?
For him to pay the bill
the bill the whole the time.
It's just like
you
if you're
understand?
going to buy me champagne
Exactly.
in our first encounter.
Exactly.
And then you want to buy me by the glass. No,
No.
Sir,
So
I don't understand.
it's equally, it's a yin and a yang, honestly, because your marketing tool for your ego to get me is to show me what you have. It would be nonsensical of you to say, but why would you expect 1, 2, 3 from me when I never volunteered it? On our first encounter, you did. So therefore, my expectation from you going forward will be that. Because you didn't show me your heart to begin with. You showed me what's in your pocket. So men like running away from what they present on the table firsthand.
Yes.
Because if I didn't know you had a Porsche, how would I expect it?
I wouldn't want the champagne.
I wouldn't want it. So stop making women a problem as if you are not the one flaunting your ego on the table, right? Because the easiest thing to get a girl now is to show them what you have. Instead of saying, hi, my name is so and so and so. Can we have a conversation? No, they don't do that. They want to show you. They post it online, equally the same way we post stuff online. So immediately they will say, oh, let me follow you on Instagram, knowing very well that their feed speaks of money. Therefore, in my head, automatically I will think, oh, is that what you drink on a regular? Then why do you want me to drink such a beer when you drink that on a regular? If I request what I request, why is it such a problem when you have flaunted it that much? So it's a yin and a yang, honestly speaking. But I do agree in a way that there are women who cannot afford their own lifestyle, so they want men to sort of bail them out.
I wouldn't say bail out. Ne?
It is.
Let me tell you why. We're Jackie. Life is hard.
And
nah, babes, I'm still waiting for. Please bless her. Like I said, I'm single right now. Moving to Johannesburg, I realize how hard life can be, right? Not necessarily because it's a Johannesburg thing, but because I chose to be in a certain industry. It has certain devils, certain challenges, and it's either I'm going to do the casting couch, or the mark, or I'm just gonna default to mama, papa, friends, whoever, because we build circles of friendships who are willing and who have good hearts. But there are people that don't have the privilege of having friends that can say, come sleep on my couch, right? And out of desperation, so that they don't have to sleep under a bridge or whatever. It's not always because of the lifestyle, because we want to go Instagram. You had no other choice.
But I always go back to, what is the plan in the long run? Because, simple example, and I'm going to paint a picture about me, right? Yeah. When I dumped my ex who had excessive money, that's a couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
I made a conscious decision to say, zero. You're going to humble yourself. You're going to accept where you are in life, and you're going to work 2 jobs so that you can just live. So that when you get to the goal, and I was very clear about the goal. The goal was to write, and my writing space had to be clear so that I do that. I didn't go to parties. I didn't go from one event to the next. I was a no-show at most of the stuff. I was that girl who got you Friday who was to get a Friday ka 6 gitima phone caravan. You understand what I'm saying? I had to be very clear with the intention. It took me 6 years to rebuild what I could have slept for in 6 months. Do you understand what I'm saying? 6 years to build it. And I was very intentional and selfish. And no go sa apare makeup, go sa reki weave, go sa reki perfume, go ya go lunching, I don't want to lie. And you become so envious and angry, and you blame everybody, but you have to come back to yourself and say, what is your intention with your own life? Because let us not forget the diseases and stuff that we get from men.
Yes.
And because they give you money, they will do it on purpose. And they will, this is where now women come back, I had to do 3-4 abortions because this man wouldn't marry me. He wouldn't provide this for me. I was hoping he would do it because I was doing this for him. But remember, in transactional relationships, no one has an end goal. It's you are here today and you could be gone tomorrow.
You're here for a good time and not a long time.
Exactly.
In the words of Drake.
Exactly. So I had to have my own plan for my life and say, okay, cool. You have to do this. This is the sacrifice. I go restaurant thing. I'll afford 40,000 rand meal.
And the sushi
I will afford it. Body, I saw over lockdown, everybody was ordering the seafood. What is that thing? What do you call it? That seafood?
It's the boil.
Yes, boil. Everybody was buying the boil, and the boil is like 700-800 rand.
Really?
Yeah.
But it looks so messy. I thought it was like
No, it's a whole thing.
Ocean.
No, it's not 200 rand. That's for sure.
But it's so messy.
No, it's quite expensive. It's way beyond 400-500 rand a boil.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. But now, what do you want? You know, I sacrificed that 6 years, went back to school, educated myself, wrote my books, did a side hustle business, you know, unto panda. Now people are like, oh, but you made it. I'm like, yeah, but that's after 6-7 years. Kisaji go restaurant. Nikija KFC like everybody else. Nikija maguinya. Nikija papa moro cabbage king teen stuff, you know? And I was very content with it because I knew that it's just a very small sacrifice. By the time I get to this age or that time frame that I've placed for myself, at least I would have accomplished one or two things. But now with somebody that gives you money, they don't expect you to win in life. They will give you a small portion knowing that you will come back and grovel for the next. So you will never
I
amount
want to get my money, Jackie. So
Okay.
let me just interject. You asked me
Okay.
what I want. I want to go pay some bills.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. The conversation gets heated and continues.
Previously on the Moneymakers.
Well, for me, is respect money and it will respect you back. That's it. Seriously, that's just what it is. If you have no respect for money, it doesn't matter if it's coins, paper, anything. If you have no respect for money, money will not respect you back.
Uzodwa wenu nini ngani kuphi kwenze njani kusha amaqanda kusha ama perfume kuyafiwa nje.
I don't suffer from abantu bazothini
Yeah.
because I work so hard. Imali sestradini.
Yeah.
You know that if you were in something like this, nobody else would wear it.
Ne? I
Yazi
know.
uzodwa.
I wanted to put it nicely. Well, we actually
There's no
do
nice because you're gonna be hated.
Senior song.
Mara when on kaza blunt, but you call it as it is.
It's like that.
Catch the Moneymakers on Mondays at 11 a.m. only on Palm TV, your #1 social media TV network. This is what you missed on this week's episode of Call My Crush.
061-244-9052. That's the number you should video call me on right now, and I promise you, your crush will be on the line. Trust me, man.
My name is Mac.
Your name is Mac. So, Mac,
You came to my club last week.
I came to your club last week. What are you talking about? I came to your